Graham here, living the dream in July 2025, and I'm standing on the balcony of room 1105 of the H10 Grand Tenerife here in Liv'n Americas. And this, guys, is part one of Fiona's and my holiday diary as part of our Tenerife 25 adventure.
Hi, I'm Graham, and this is my wife Fiona, and we have always had a work hard, play hard philosophy. From London to New York, and of course the Caribbean, we live our dream through travel. And of course, the odd cocktail. And here on YouTube, we create our memories while living our dream. So come and join us as we share our memories with you.
Feel my vision.
Okay, before I get into this video, I just want to set the scene, guys. You've seen our journey from Glasgow down to Tenerife South. You've seen me review Jet2's private transfer from the airport at Tenerife South over to this hotel, the H10 Grand Tenerife. And of course, you've already seen our hotel and room review, which was in the last episode of this fantastic hotel, which is right on the seafront here in Liv'n Americas. This video starts I think it's going to be a 3 or a 4-part series, just diarying, cataloguing, whatever you want to call it, Fiona's and my holiday here in Tenerife in July 2025. It's a personal video. It's not going to be of interest to everybody, but it just shows you and provides Fiona and I with a memory of our journey, our time here in Tenerife in July 2025. Right, let's get on with the video.
Turning grey and into
Fiona and I left a warm and overcast Glasgow on Tuesday, the 1st of July 2025, somewhere around 3:30 in the afternoon. And for the first time in ages on the channel, we departed Glasgow on runway 05, therefore in the direction of Drumchapel, Bearsden and Mulgai, before overflying the Campsies. But as you can see here, we're departing over the River Clyde, looking out west towards Inverclyde and Port Glasgow.
I got you locked in just like a secret telling.
And of course, we were on board Jet2 on one of their slightly older 737-800s in seat 3A and 3B, enjoying that first holiday drink. And due to a pretty strong headwind, our flight between Glasgow and Tenerife South took just around 5 hours. And if you're interested, I have done a comprehensive trip report on that journey from Glasgow down to Tenerife on Tuesday, the 1st of July 2025. Just go back to video number 309, published here on YouTube on Friday, the 18th of July 2025. In the end, as you would expect, it was a very uneventful flight. However, Fiona and I think, had very numb bums at the end of the 5-hour journey, because unfortunately, Jet2 have some of the thinnest, least padded aeroplane seats I've ever experienced. After leaving the aircraft, Fiona and I were going to be bussed over to the terminal and the immigration process. And to be honest, guys, I think this inefficient way to get through passport control has got something to do with Brexit. So less said about that, the better.
I can feel it reflect in the clearest of eyes.
Baggage reclaim was pretty easy. Fiona and I had been tracking both of our cases using the Find Me app on Apple, because yep, we put AirTags into both cases.
Else how I'm feeling.
And after baggage reclaim, we headed up into the terminal building itself, into the arrivals hall area in the search of our Jet2 agent, where we would soon find out about our private transfer to the hotel. Again, I did a full review of Jet2's private transfer process here on YouTube. Just go back to video number 310, published on Tuesday, the 22nd of July 2025, where you can follow Fiona and I on the less than 20-minute journey from Tenerife South Airport to our hotel, which of course is the H10 Grand Tenerife. As I said earlier, the journey from Tenerife South International Airport to the H10 Grand in Playa del Americas was less than 20 minutes, a journey Fiona and I have made several times over the past few decades. And the private transfer minibus dropped us right outside the lobby of the H10. And as it was getting quite late, Fiona and my plan was to get checked in as quickly as possible, up to the room, dump the cases and then go out and get some dinner, because we knew that we'd have missed the buffet here at the hotel because it was just coming up on 9:30 p.m.
Turning grey and into fiction.
The room that Fiona and I had at the H10 Grand for our 10 nights in July 2025 was room 1105, which of course was on the 11th floor, which was actually the top floor of this hotel.
Clearest of eyes in you. I got you locked in just like a secret, telling nobody else how I'm feeling. I got you locked in just like a secret, telling nobody else.
And to enter the room, you used a key card that was built in to the all-inclusive wristband that was now attached to our right wrists for the next 10 days. And again, guys, I've done a full resort and room tour here on YouTube. Just go back one episode to video number 310, published on Friday the 25th of July 2025. And as I said earlier, our plan was just to dump our bags and head straight out to dinner, which on our first night was pizza at the Bora Bora Italian restaurant, just over 5 minutes walk from our hotel. And I'm afraid, guys, this is where Tuesday and day one comes to a close. But first I'm going to leave you with some photographs that I took throughout this travel day.
Falling out, getting too close, but wouldn't stand letting you go. Hear me out, I know what we could be. In my dreams I can almost reach it through the dark. I can feel it reflect in the clearest of eyes in you.
It is just coming up on 20 to 11 in the morning. Fiona and I have already been for breakfast. We've been for a quick self-tour of this very interesting hotel in Tenerife. And of course, the resort and room tour of this hotel would have been in the last episode. And this, guys, is therefore the beginning of our holiday diary. We did go for a walk around the pool area looking for a lounger, and at just before 11 a.m. they were literally all gone. There is another much quieter pool next to the gym, which I'll take you past shortly. But there is a nice quiet area overlooking the beach that Fiona and I did manage to find somewhere to sit. And that is where Fiona is right now. I forgot to bring a hat. The sun is now coming up over the top of the hotel. And I know my head is going to fry if I didn't wear a hat. Sandals hat? Is that cool when you're at an H10 resort? I did say to Fiona that I would try and buy a new hat later. Anyway, join me as I make my way down to the area that Fiona and I have chosen to lounge today.
Really had the chance to speak my mind.
As I said earlier on this episode, we were in room 1105, which was on the 11th floor, and that meant we were using the lifts, or the elevators as the Americans call them, to get up and down to our room.
You got me going, can't control me.
And as I said in the last video, the hotel and room review, these lifts or elevators were the Achilles heel of the hotel. There were simply not enough elevator cars for the size of resort. And as a result, during busy times, you would struggle to get a lift, and I felt really sorry for those hotel guests staying in the middle floors, because more often than not, the lift was full by the time it got to their floor, so they were going to have a delay going in whichever direction they were heading. Right, I've come out at floor -2 next to the third, or is it the fourth pool on this resort, opposite the spa and gym.
What are you waiting? So keep me moving to the beat of the night.
And our first drinks of the day were strawberry milkshakes from the little cafe, which opened at 11 a.m. And yeah, before you ask guys, these are non-alcoholic. It is before 12 after all.
I know you want it, I know you need it. Come on, show me.
And next to the beachfront sitting area where you'd find Fiona and I most days was the little lunchtime restaurant that you would also find us at most days, enjoying a light bite lunchtime snack. Yeah guys, not really.
Come on, show me, show me. You got me going, can't control fingers.
And honestly guys, the desserts at this lunchtime restaurant were absolutely fantastic. Fiona and I simply couldn't turn one down. And it was an absolutely gorgeous first day at the H10 Grand Tenerife on Wednesday, the 2nd of July 25. And Fiona and I decided to go back to the room before heading out for dinner. She wanted to go to the Castle, which was one of her favourite restaurants in Tenerife back in 2019, when we last visited this Canary Island.
Right, we're going. Where are we going? Out on town. Whatever. You smell good.
Right in front of the door to our room 1105 was this veranda balcony area. I've got no idea what it was used for, but it did give you a beautiful view over Playa del Americas down to Adeje. Anyway, time to play elevator lottery and head out for dinner.
What are you waiting for? Just take the shots, think it's time.
But before we would head out for our walk to the Castle restaurant, we went out to the terrace bar first to get a pre-dinner drink. At the end of the day guys, we were all inclusive, so there's no point heading out to a bar, was there?
Cheers. Cheers, big ears.
Really had the chance to speak my mind. Never thought you would hear it. Oh, and if you run, baby, I will follow every time. I show you what I'm.
As I explained in the last video, the H10 Grand Tenerife is strategically located between Las Americas and Costa Adeje. The Veronica's commercial complex in Las Americas is only about a 10-minute walk to the south, and the other commercial complex at Costa Adeje is about a 20-minute walk to the north.
Just take the shot, morning's getting closer. I'm waiting on you to tell me it will be alright. We're closer now, think it's time we try this.
As Fiona and I walk northbound along this shore walk, the building to our right is actually our hotel, the H10 Grand Tenerife. There is steps somewhere leading to a back door. It closes, or should I say, it is locked at 10:30 at night. We just fancied the walk. We never actually used this back door.
And if you want, baby, I could be the only.
When you reach the top of these steps, you are going to end up running the gauntlet of guys trying to persuade you into their restaurant. However, Fiona and I knew exactly where we were going, and that's the Castle. And in fact, the guy enticing us into the Castle was the same guy that did this job back in 2019. He was telling us he'd been doing this role for 11 years now. The food at this restaurant called the Castle is absolutely superb. Tonight, Fiona had a sirloin steak and I had the Mexican chicken. And as expected, it didn't disappoint.
Control, fingers crossed you take me home. So play me off.
And later on Wednesday evening, back at the H10, Fiona and I had a nightcap, or should I say, one for the road. And this is where I'm going to bring Wednesday and the 2nd of July to a close, guys, leaving you with some photographs that I took throughout the day.
I'm waiting on you to tell me it will be alright. We're closer now, think it's time we try this out. What are you waiting for? What it's all about. I'm waiting on you to tell me it will be alright. Hold on, why can't you stay a little longer?
It is Thursday, the 3rd of July 2025, and welcome to a new day here in Las Americas, Tenerife. It's just after 9 a.m. Fiona's in the shower, and shortly we're going to be heading down to breakfast. I may try and take you with me on this this journey this morning. It's really hard to film in a busy buffet restaurant, but let's see how I get on by trying to make this camera a little bit more covert. But welcome to Thursday.
You got me going under. I'm a weak.
The walk from a room 1105 to the lifts, or elevators as the Americans call them, wasn't that far. The question we asked ourselves this morning, like we did every morning, is how long would it take to get a lift?
Please say don't go, babe. I won't behave. I'm raising hell with you.
The buffet restaurant for breakfast, lunch and dinner was on floor -1. If you wanted to eat inside, you simply went and found an empty table that had been made up for new guests. However, if you wanted to sit outside, like Fiona and I did every day, you had to line up and wait to be seated. And the wait was never that long, guys. I think the longest Fiona and I had to stand waiting to be called forward was less than 5 minutes. The buffet restaurant was always very busy, especially in the morning for breakfast, so it was extremely hard to film. And since Brits were the predominant nationality staying at this resort, we were extremely well catered for. But if you are German, French, Dutch, Belgium, Scandinavian, you were also pretty well catered for. But come on guys, what nationality doesn't love beans on toast for breakfast? However, lunch and dinner was a different story. During our first week, we did manage to eat lunch and dinner once at the buffet restaurant, and it was okay guys, I mean just okay. We did try lunch on the second week, and to be quite frank, we gave up. There wasn't that much choice. We also tried the buffet restaurant once more for dinner, and again, it just wasn't great guys. There wasn't a lot of choice. And to be quite honest, the quality of the food on offer wasn't that great either. So as Fiona and I head back to the 11th floor and our room to get ready for doing absolutely nothing for the rest of today. I'm going to say this guys, you're not going to see the buffet restaurant again in any of this video series.
Let's make it count and move things slower. Oh, you and I, a final ride. Yeah, you and I, a final night of highs. A triple life, a final cry. 'Cause you and I used to be paradise. Used to be paradise. Used to be paradise. Used to be paradise. It ain't over till it's over. Let's make it count and move things slower. All of my heart will be broken. Let's go out with one big explosion.
If it looks like it's been raining overnight guys, it actually hasn't. The fantastic team here at the H10 keeps the pool areas absolutely spotless. And it's this very pool that Fiona and I decided to spend our second full day at the H10, of course being Thursday. However, there was a slight problem at this pool. The sun didn't make it over the top of the hotel until something like 1:45 in the afternoon. But there was an added benefit guys. This was the pool that you could watch the water aerobics each day. And for lunch on Thursday, you would find Fiona and I back at our usual spot, or what certainly became our usual spot today. Fiona having nachos and I had the chicken burger. And before you ask guys, yes, Fiona did supplement her nachos with plenty of my chips.
All of my heart will be broken. Let's go out with one big explosion.
So I got red chicken, red hamburger, mushrooms, lasagna, chips. Fiona got a Sunday roast, basically. Beef, Yorkshire puddings, canary potatoes, sweet corn, vegetables, shite.
And you guessed it, Thursday was the only night Fiona and I had a successful dinner at the H10 Grand Buffet. And then we headed to see what entertainment was on tonight. Right, let's go and see what the GoPro has taken tonight. See if we can... It's worked, or it's got, with the heavy wind, it's got blown off and disappeared. This was my second attempt at a sunset time lapse, and in a minute I'm going to share the output and bring Thursday and this episode to a close. If you want to continue to follow Fiona and I as we enjoy Tenerife in July 2025, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon to be notified when our next video is published. Thank you so much for watching.
We want big explosion. Not ending over till it's over. Let's make it count and move things slower. Oh, you and I, a final ride. Yeah, you and I, a final night of highs. A triple life, a final cry. 'Cause you and I used to be paradise. Used to be paradise.